All right, this woman I love. A 75-year-old woman stands up to would-be burglars. It happened in a Denver neighborhood where there's been a spike in break-ins. Liz Gelardi is live in Hilltop, and Liz, this seems like a pattern.
Well, it does. These bold burglars are striking during the day, going up to the door to see if anyone's home. The other day, someone answered, a 75-year-old woman, and her instinct kicked in.
And she opened it up, and it wasn't all the way, and she kind of saw them standing there.
Face to face with two men trying to break in. It was 10 in the morning. Eric Lung's 75-year-old mom answered the door. She thought it was his wife, who was also home at the time.
And my mother sensed that something was wrong, and she said, "What do you want?" And then one of the males said, "You don't talk to me that way," and started pushing on the door and trying to get in the house.
His mom pushed back.
And somehow she was able to get it closed.
This house, not the only one targeted in the Hilltop neighborhood. Since March 1st, 9 burglaries in the area. If you look just a few blocks north, there's a dozen more.
And I really think that's what they were thinking about this house, that maybe somebody works 9 to 5 and we'll go knock at the door at 10 and nobody's going to be home, and then we can figure out how to get inside.
Back in December, some residents got together and hired private security for Hilltop because they thought police weren't doing enough.
We could see they lifted the grate up and just smashed the window, crawled right through.
A few houses down, this home broken into about 2 weeks ago. Adam Weingart was out for a few hours running errands when it happened.
This stuff is happening during the middle of the day, probably when you have your guard down the most.
His neighbor isn't taking any chances and already bought surveillance cameras.
It's one of those things that you get scared to even think about what could have happened.
Yeah, and let me tell you, that is one brave woman. The 75-year-old mom and grandmother is back home. She was in from out of town visiting family. She's back home. She's okay, just a little shaken up. You can see these neighborhood watch signs in the area tonight. Police are telling neighbors to keep an eye out for each other and to report any suspicious activity. Reporting live, Liz Gelardi, Denver 7.